Hi, let's do this. Alright, we're gonna go top to bottom. Alright? Starting here with JoJo. We have part 3, part 4, and part 5. All of part 3, 1 through 10, volume 5 was incredibly difficult for me to find at market value, which is $19.99. I could only find it on Amazon for like $40 at least, and it just was never in physical stores. And then Dominic came down for the summer, and I found it at Entertain Mart when we went there, and now all of a sudden it's always wherever I go. So, thanks for causing a miracle to happen, I guess. Part 4, the best one to be animated so far, second best overall. Best overall was part 7, Johnny Joestar, right there on my shirt, even though you can't see. Something special about this is the last volume. Look at how hefty this is. I think this is like 500 pages. Yeah, just about. I mean, listen to this. Maybe through my phone mic you won't be able to tell as much, but that is a thick book. Like, this is the kind of book you'd find in an old-timey library. Like, I have to hold it like this, it's that thick. And then, part 5, I think it's up to volume 5 now, but I only have up through the 4th. Part 5 is, it's okay, it's not the best. Part 3 is probably the most mid that I own. I bought all of those when I was watching part 3. So at that time, well, not all of them, but most of them, I bought when I was still watching part 3. So at the time, it was indeed the best part of JoJo, because it was the most recent one I'd watched. Over here, you will see Konosuba. I was reading this mostly through April, I think. I think that ended off with volume 15 here. 16 came out in June, and then volume 17 came out a couple months ago. I still have not finished this yet, but I mean, it's pretty good so far. I'm a little disappointed with how short it is, but, I don't know. A good finale's a good finale, so I'm not going to complain if it is good, but again, I haven't finished it yet, so. Over here, Persona 3, Persona 4. I think the Persona 4 manga is probably the better adapted out of them that I have witnessed so far. I think this is formatted a little more like just a regular manga. Obviously, it has some of these weirder things just during battles, but like, the Persona 3 manga is just, at least the first volume, is just all that. I know you couldn't really see that, but. And then lastly, Death Note Black Edition, 1 and 2, so the first 4 volumes of Death Note. Death Note's pretty good. I might rewatch it sometime. I might read it sometime. Obviously, I'd have to rely on the powers of the internet for that, but, Anyway, second shelf. Monogatari. We have up through the most recently released in the West, which is Zoku Owari Monogatari. I'm almost here now, finally. I watched the Tsuki Monogatari anime a couple of days ago. So now I'm up to Koyomi Monogatari. I read about half of the book months ago and just hadn't picked it back up, so most of these I have not read, just because I've already watched the anime. Why would I need to? But I did read Kizu. Kizu was really good. I really enjoyed it. The movies were also really good. Speaking of the movies, look out for those. Eventually, I'm going to be making some videos. Eventually. Monogatari manga up through volume 10. I think there's like 15 now, so I have most of them. But I think the first 4 or 5 go through the story of Bakemonogatari, which is these first 3 books here. But then it switches to Kizu for some reason. I don't really know why, but obviously I haven't read that far into the manga. I read the first volume, just because, why not? But, I don't know. I'm not Nishio-Ishin, so, whatever. Over here, Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, the first 2 volumes. I bought these mostly just as a joke, as a little gag. I watched the anime, obviously. Me and Dominic both. It was okay. I didn't dislike it, but looking back, I don't really know if I really liked it either. But I'd probably have to watch it again. It's been almost a year. Most people don't rewatch anime for at least 4 or 5 years, but, whatever. I hear season 2's in production now. That's pretty cool. Konosuba Explosion on the Wonderful World manga, all 5 volumes. I hear a season of an anime for this is in production now too, along with Konosuba season 3. So that's pretty cool. Speaking of Konosuba, the Konosuba manga up through volume 7. I think this goes through to the end of the 4th volume of the light novel. But of the manga currently, I think here in America there are 13 volumes. I don't really know if it's the kind of manga adaptation to be further ahead in Japan, but I mean, you never know. Well, I should be able to find out just by looking at this. Yeah, no, these were published around the same time in America and Japan, so. Komi Can't Communicate. I enjoy this one. I have up to volume 10. I think the anime so far only goes up to like the middle of volume 8. So I do own past what's on Netflix. But I have read pretty much the whole thing thanks to the powers of the internet. That's the washer. There's a weird sound happening. I think in the West right now we're up to like volume 20. But I've read, again, well past that. I think in Japan they're up to like 24, 25 now. Don't quote me on that, but Bleach 1 through 4 and season 2 and 3 of the anime. This is just a regular, 1 through 3 collection thing. I like the back of this. This is still classic Shonen Jump, how they had this whole thing. I really like that. New Jump is okay, but Dominic got me this for my birthday. Appreciate it. Volume 4. This was part of a box that my sister gave to me. This one's really special to me, because this is a first edition print. Let's see if I can find it here. Right there. Published, maybe you can't see it, but published November 2004. Really cool, I think. This is a sign of how manga used to be. This went for $7.95. Most Jump volumes are only $10, which is still pretty cheap, but like, geez, inflation. I mean, it has been like 8 years. No, 18 years. So like, $3 in 18 years is not that much, I think, but also, I still live with my parents, so. One Piece, Volume 1 and 2. I kind of regret buying these now, like standalone, because I learned there are box sets recently. I think the first one goes from Romance Dawn through to the end of Alabasta, like the anime arc speaking. I think it's in the manga East Blue to the end of Baroque Works. It's Alabasta. It's the Alabasta arc. But they're like $200 each, so like, I ain't got that kind of money right now. I definitely ain't got that kind of shelf space right now, so I'll stick with this for now. Maybe I'll sell them at some point. Get the box sets anyway. Display these separately. I don't really know. One thing I really do love about it, though, is that how, like, weird, not weird, but just interesting the color choices for the covers of these are. Like, this one's just regular, parchment map. This one's like a lime green. And then you got a bunch of blues and reds and purples. It looks really good. I would really love to see it on a shelf. But we're talking, like, at least a couple years down the line for something like that, in terms of money and space. Spy Family 1 and 2. Episode 13 came out on Saturday. Episode 14 comes out this Saturday. I am fully caught up with this manga, again, thanks to the power of the internet and the official Shonen Jump app. I really love this. It's really good. Yeah, Spy Family. Yeah. I don't know, I feel like I should have more to say, but I don't really. I think, like, the cover design is really cool. The whole, like, blue thing. How they have it like this on the back. Most modern Shonen Jump manga, they just look like this. Or they look like this. The backs are pretty cool. They're pretty alright. Like, they don't really compare to the classic Shonen Jump. But, like, this, just considering the theme of Spy Family, I really enjoy. Yeah. One Punch Man. I am also fully caught up with this manga. I have up to the 3rd volume right now. I read it mostly on the Shonen Jump app, but it is like 5 or so chapters behind of what's actually happening. I think, because I've been reading it through some website, I think it's called Kubari, that the One Punch Man subreddit actually manages, where they, like, translate chapters fresh out of Japan. So, we're a little bit ahead of that. It might actually catch up, though, on the app, because apparently there's a hiatus for about a month, because they're working on volume 27, I think, of the manga. Physical manga. I don't know if that's releasing just in Japan or over here as well, but that sounds pretty exciting. Again, no space for it, but... Bottom shelf here, most of this I have not read. I haven't read these. I read through about the middle of the 2nd volume of Full Metal Alchemist. About through to the middle of the 3rd of Blue Exorcist. All the Zelda manga, I have read all of those, but that was years ago. And then Chainsaw Man, I am fully caught up with this as well. Part 2 so far has been really good. Episode 1 of the anime comes out next week, as well as episode 1 of the new Bleach. I have not caught up with Bleach. At this point, it's looking pretty bleak, but I'll see what I can do. Chainsaw Man, episode 1, coming soon. Really excited for that. It looks really good. And then, if you will be so kind as to follow me over here. Nier Automata display, Zangetsu, Luffy figure, right there. And then these postcard things that came with the Monogatari box sets. I don't know how well you were able to see those, but that is the full collection. I just felt like rambling on about this, so I did. Bye.